Welcome to the Pitwall Podcast. We're back, and we're here to talk about all the livery, the team launches, all of the good things that have happened, as we are a solid, 3 days from preseason as recording of this episode.
Yep.
And Driver Survives this week too. It's a good week. We get a lot of presents as F1 fans this week. So.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm excited to talk about our rankings for the liveries because I feel like we're gonna shock each other a little bit with these.
Yeah, you think so?
Because like online, I've seen a lot of comments about some of these cars that are just bad and good that like I've disagreed with a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I know that me and you have a little bit. I know for sure that me and you have a little bit of differences between our rankings.
Well, I would recommend if you're listening along to look up the pictures as we go along. It's a lot of work to edit them in, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time. So, we have more audio listeners than video watchers, so look them up. They're pretty sweet
For sure.
And be on the lookout for the real cars, which is going to be a topic in here on Thursday of this week, which is the 23rd. Is that the right day? Yes. The 23rd. Go online, get F1 TV. I did. It's only $80 a year. It's pretty sick. I've already watched like 20 races and 30-minute things that they do.
What did you send me the other day? The video of you watching a race. You were like, I had to go back. And
I rewatched Silverstone 2020. No, I can't remember. It was one where
Lewis was dominating.
It was Lewis was on pole and Bottas was in second.
Gotcha.
And that's how it finished. It was a 2020 race. That's all you need to be told. And I was just like, I need to heal. I need to clean my system. I say there's a lot of news to talk about, but the liveries came first in time. So I say we just talk about the liveries first.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, how do you want to do this? Like, are we just going to go number 1 for each of us, number 2 for each of us?
I think we should each individually go down our 10.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this is some BTS for the actual full audio listeners, because that'll make a great TikTok clip, and then I can just cut it down.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And also, I know I rated them as we went, but my opinions have entirely changed.
Okay.
Well, maybe. I was trying to be nice on all of them, but I will not be as nice.
That's fair.
So anyway, you go first. Tell me your top 10. Start with 10.
Start with 10. Okay.
Yes.
This is probably going to shock a lot of people. AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
I mean, well, actually,
I'm not going to chime in at all. Just give me your reasons.
It's probably not going to shock people if you've seen the car. If you haven't, look at the car. You will understand why. Their design has never been great to me, honestly. Like, it's just bland. Their colors don't pop.
I'll chime in when it's my turn, but
like, okay, out of the grid, would you say AlphaTauri has ever had the best design?
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, in my time of watching.
Oh, in your time of watching? No, but
like 2 years.
Yeah,
you're okay. For all the people listening that don't know,
don't admit that we're experts, Dawson. We're experts.
Okay, listen. If people that have been listening this whole time don't know that you're the expert and I am
I don't
as
know if
much
I'm an
so.
Expert.
Well,
yeah, I'm an expert.
Yes, you are.
I'm doing my best to be a researcher. Okay. I'm a scholar.
From what I have watched, this is what I'm going off of, by the way, because I'm not going to act like I've watched for 20 years, you know.
Uh-huh.
What I've seen, I've like never been like, oh, that car looks amazing from AlphaTauri.
Well, here's what I'll say. I'm not going to tell you my ranking, but I think it was one of my favorites. It was my dad and I's favorite, other than the original black Mercedes, which I am saying the original black Mercedes.
Yeah. Okay.
But, I mean, I'm pulling up a picture for those who want to follow along online of the 2020 AlphaTauri. Dude, tell me that's not clean. Look at the bulls on the front. Oh, man. The bulls on the front
I'll pull it up.
of the car. Yeah, look up 2020 AlphaTauri. It is here's what I'll say. At first they were making it better, and then they made it way worse.
See, I only know, I'm guessing the worst cars.
Yes. I mean, look at that. That's pretty sick.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, and like I said, their team jet wins. They have the
that
best,
looks a lot better.
They have the best team jet, and I'll say this too. The other reason I really like it is because Toro Rosso looked the exact same. It was like Red Bull, but like it's like Diet Red Bull.
Maybe that's why I'm so biased.
What?
Because I want the Red Bull colors.
Yeah.
Well, like I don't know. With like I like the
So I'm not saying it's the best. It was tied for the best because it's in the same time as the black. But I liked.
Okay. So you're talking about this car is tied.
Yes, this car is
2020.
tied with the. Oh, okay, no, the black Mercedes is my all-time.
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah. Okay,
but
okay.
if
I
that
about
was
to
not on
say.
the grid, then it would have been my favorite.
Okay, okay.
And I'm willing to say that the 2022 AlphaTauri livery, I liked better than the silver Mercedes a little bit.
I'll have to disagree with you on that too.
Okay. Well, anyway, continue. I said I wasn't going to chime in, but that was just such a hot take.
He's got to chime in on every single
No,
one.
I'm not
Don't
ready. Here we
explain. Okay. Number 9, Alpine. This reminds me of the Hot Wheels cars I owned when I was 6 years old. But here's the thing. Here's what made them, because originally I had AlphaTauri 9 and I had Alpine 10, but then I remembered the pink livery. And I like the pink livery.
Yeah, the pink livery.
I think that they should do a blue or a pink.
Agreed.
I don't think they should do both because, like I said, it looks like my freaking Hot Wheels cars from when I was 6 years old.
Agreed. Yes, and all other Alpine cars that are non F1 cars are only blue.
Yeah, exactly.
100% agree.
Okay. Number 8. This, I'm expecting you to have this lower, or like as in 9 or 10, or exactly where I have it, McLaren.
Yeah.
So, I actually like this car other than one specific feature.
Okay.
The baby blue.
Okay.
I think it throws the entire car off. And if you look like we've talked about, pull this car up and look at it, I feel like it should be orange and black.
Right.
I feel like the baby blue just kind of throws the whole design off. I think it would look so much cleaner if it was just orange and black.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do have one thing which made this number 8.
Okay.
I think it'll look better on track than it does in a launch preview.
And then in a render.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because I don't think we saw the real car as of today.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I haven't even seen a picture of the real car.
No,
yet.
I saw a video of it pulling off.
Okay.
Out of the like the garage.
Right.
And I like that's when I was like, okay, yeah, my thoughts were right.
I keep going. Sorry, I'm gonna chime in.
You can chime in.
I have lots of things.
Do you know what a podcast is?
I have my own opinions.
You know what? You're right. We'll talk about it after.
Because I'm gonna absolutely bash McLaren. So
no, okay. Like I said, I figured you would have this at 8 or lower. So
okay, keep going.
Oh, what?
Nothing.
Okay, number 7. Let me just start off saying, I know, it's the same car every year.
Okay,
but it's Red Bull.
Okay,
and people are gonna be like, put it lower because it's literally the same car every year. But there's nothing really to talk about other than that I like Red Bull. I'm biased, so I'm going to put it higher than, at least the bottom 3.
Okay.
But
it's not bad.
I made sure to keep my biased Red Bull fan thoughts out of the way when thinking about this list. That's really
so
red. Oh yeah, I'm sure. It looks good. I always like the Red Bull colors. I have since I was a little kid, so I'm always going to be big into that. But respectfully, out of the list of liveries, I think it fits around number 7. Number 6 is going to be Williams.
Okay, that's kind of a surprise.
Not much to say other than this. On this one, other than I think this blue is going to make this car like pop on the track.
Yeah,
I think it'll look really nice. Like when we get those like season pictures of the cars racing, I think it's gonna look really good.
Do you think it's gonna look better at day or at night?
Night.
Okay. I thought maybe during the day.
I don't know. Maybe like
it depends.
Maybe you're right.
It's gonna take a little bit for us to get a day.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But that's really it. I like the blue. Nothing on the design like really stood out.
Right.
But it was good. Number 5. This is where I think you're going to have a different opinion.
Oh, God.
Aston Martin.
Ooh, okay.
I knew it. Okay. I'm not saying the car looks bad when I say this.
Okay, yeah.
But it's the same car.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I ranked Red Bull number 7, okay? It's the same car.
Okay.
I can have this opinion.
Okay.
And it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
As we say down here.
Which I hope they fix a few things on their car, but...
Well, yeah. But as of the design of the livery, I don't think it's bad. But the top 4 are really good.
Okay.
Number 4, Also, like my 2 through 4 was like swapped so many times in my
hard
head.
to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 is gonna be Haas,
Okay.
and I was gonna put them I think I was gonna put them at number 2 actually, but there's a reason I didn't.
Okay.
So here's my notes about Haas. This gives me the Renault burnt banana vibes, but I like it.
Okay.
Like the black on the sides, the white on top. I like it a lot. It looks really good. Like I think it is a really good, really well designed car. Plus the MoneyGram logo looks really good on it.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, big
Like
shock.
the sponsor logos actually look really good on this Haas. And like I'm not saying the Renault vibe was bad. I liked it.
Yeah,
The
I liked it
black
too.
on the side, yellow at the top. Same with Haas, black on the side and white on the top. I think it's good. So that's really it for that one. Number 3, Ferrari.
Okay.
I might be biased because these next 2 teams are like pretty much my favorite color combinations. It's red and black. So I'm guessing you can tell who my number 2 is going to be.
Man, that's high. Okay.
But like honestly, this Ferrari looks insane.
Yeah.
Especially with the new rear wing.
Yes, dude.
The rear wing looks like the old Ferrari on the back wing. It's so nice. Like I saw it and I was like, oh, this is good.
Yep.
Okay. So number 2, Alfa Romeo.
Wow. That's high.
I know.
Wow.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And there was just, when I saw it, I was just like, that's a nice looking car.
Yep.
So, like I said, though, biased because red and black's my favorite color combination. And here it comes. I'm gonna turn away for a second, not look at Nick when I say this, but my number 1 is gonna be Mercedes.
Yes, bro.
This wall looks really nice right now.
What
actually.
about the Mercedes?
Okay, I'll turn back around. It's clear white. The all black looks amazing on the track.
Dude.
It's like the best color, or not the best color. Like it's just the best. It looks the best out of everything. Like you look at the old black Mercedes, it just stands out, and it's like we're here to race. Like we're here to put some power on you,
dude. It made me so happy. I can't believe it. You
But,
kind of
like-
called it. You kind of called it. You were like, I feel like maybe they're gonna. I was like, I don't know. Dude.
I knew it.
I didn't have faith.
I knew it.
I didn't have faith in my team. I'm sorry.
Plus that, okay, Petronas.
Yes, Petronas.
Petronas. I didn't want to say Patronus.
Patronus.
It sounds like a Harry Potter spell or something. Oh, I'm gonna get roasted for that one. The Petronas green strip on the side, it's just chef's kiss. You know what I mean? Like it's so nice. Like that accent on it is just like what sold it for me.
Yeah.
If it was all black, I probably would have put like Ferrari or Alfa Romeo number 1.
Gotcha.
But
it's the green.
That's it.
Yeah.
It just looks so good, and that's my top 10.
Well, I'm gonna go in reverse order, just to make it interesting. That mostly because I just really want to talk about the Mercedes.
Okay.
No.
See, I didn't make a lot of notes on it because I knew you.
You know what? Screw it. I'll start from 10. Mercedes, my 1 big shock. All right, 10 McLaren.
Figured.
I just have issues with this car, and honestly, the person that sold me was Formula Bone. J-Bone really sold me on it being the worst one because he started pointing out how the colors of the wheels and the colors of the car clash so hard because of the sponsors.
Oh, you're talking about like the chrome?
Yes, the chrome blue doesn't match the blue of the. And I actually have a nitpick about that about Mercedes too, which I'll get to. But I don't do. It's just doing too much, and it's not as bad as when they added the pink for one race last year, or I think it was Japan. They added a little bit of pink into it, and that was just like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it's just not good. I just don't think it's good. I hope you're right. I hope it looks better in person, but it's just not my favorite. And I think they just need to figure out a way to integrate their sponsors and keep the papaya better. It needs to. I need to see orange first, and I don't see that in this car right now.
Gotcha.
All right, number 9, AlphaTauri. Really disappointed me. Like I was arguing with you earlier, it is one of my favorites normally, but the red just totally ruins it.
Yeah.
The red throws the whole thing up, like messes it up. I will say their wheels are cool. They have these cool, like it almost looks like a ninja throwing star on their wheels, which I really like. But I feel like they just made it worse. And they stole Orlin, which, I mean, everybody steals sponsors, but like it was just kind of like, ugh. this is kind of cringy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just like, hey, Orland's ours now. I don't know. Number 8, Alpine. I can't get down with this car. I like the back of it, and I like the pink, actually. I wish they would just keep pink or blue, like you said.
Exactly.
So I will like their car more. Their pink is higher rated. It's probably like a 5 or a 6. So thank goodness for the first 3 races. We will have to see this car for a while.
Yep.
I unfortunately will have to see this car in person. I don't hate it that much. All right, number 7 actually, made as high as 7 is Red Bull.
Yeah.
I think it's a tried and true livery. I like seriously, I do. It's just, and unfortunately, some of the ones that are the same made it higher, but their hands are tied. But you know what? The yellow and the medium tire, that matching alone gets it at least a 7 for me. It is what it is. I mean, and I hope it's slow. Good one. Number 6, Alfa Romeo. This is where it got tough for me. I like all these at this point. I really like Alfa Romeo, but it was just kind of like, which black and red car do I had 2 a little higher that I wanted to put than that.
Yeah.
And it was like, which black and red car gets the other slots?
That's fair.
And it was also, I'm putting them there, and we're going to talk about it, but how their reveal went.
Yeah.
Also, they had these little spiky things on the side, on the bottom, that aren't on their real car.
Yeah, I've seen so many memes about it.
It's the Verstappen defense mechanism is my personal favorite. So anyway, I love this car, though. Great job, Alfa Romeo. I kind of miss the white. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah?
I miss the white a little bit, just because there's cars that look similar. I feel like the white might have different.
Yeah,
so I missed that a little bit.
Well, honestly, like if Haas didn't do their normal, or if Haas did their normal design, like
True.
It would have looked
vastly different.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, I have Williams. I think this car looks really cool. It's my favorite Williams. They have the best brand integration with the Duracell battery at the top. And I just think it's going to sparkle in the sun. And I think the wheel covers are cool, and I have like the arrows.
Yeah.
Everybody did a little wheel thing this year. I like that.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I don't think Mercedes did like a little thing, but anyway, really like that. Number 4, Ferrari, man. So it didn't change that much, but the rear wing alone is worth everything.
Exactly.
And my favorite livery to date of theirs has actually been 2. I love the 1000th Grand Prix livery. It's in Drive to Survive. If you haven't seen it, you weren't watching that season, but it was like a darker red. That was really cool.
Okay.
And then they also did a special Monza livery with the yellow last year, which, remember, there's the memes that the car was going to be yellow, and I was terrified.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. And the rear wing had yellow Ferrari, and that was the best part.
Yeah.
And even though this is white, I think it fits better. So anyway, love it.
I agree.
Thank you, Ferrari. They had the best car reveal, which we'll also talk about. Good job, Ferrari, in my opinion. Then Haas at number 3. Haas cracked my top 3, which is just insane.
Oh, yeah.
Love their brand integration. It's just, I mean, they were the last to announce a date, and then they just decided we're going first, and they just like blew it out of the park. Like, they set up everybody to fail, pretty much. Like McLaren and the AlphaTauri after that looked so bad in comparison. If I got the AlphaTauri first, maybe I would have been like, ooh, new car.
Yeah.
But like after that, number 2 is Aston Martin. And I know that the Red Bull didn't change and is lower, but the Aston Martin has been basically like Aston Martin, AlphaTauri, and obviously Mercedes have been my 3 favorite liveries for a very long time.
Gotcha.
Ever since Aston came back.
Yeah.
And this car just looks so good. The British Racing Green is what it's called.
Yeah.
The yellow stripe along it, kind of like what you're saying. It's just,
it's a good car.
It's the one I think is actually going to look the best in person.
Oh, okay.
I think on camera, my number 1 will look the best, which is Mercedes, of course. But number 2, I think Aston Martin will look awesome.
Okay.
Number 1, Mercedes. Dude, like, what do I even say? How do I even start? I woke up at 7 a.m. The car reveal was 3:30 a.m. I was like, I was actually up kind of late that night, and there was like half of me that was like, well, I could stay up.
Could just stay up.
But I was like, no, don't be stupid. Plus, they're going to milk this. It's going to be like an hour-long thing just to show the car once, which actually ended up not being true. But I was like, I opened my phone, and it like all I had to do was click Twitter. First thing that showed up, I was like, no shot. No freaking shot. They kept it black. They brought it back to black. And they're like full about it too. They're talking about how it's our last successful car. Like we need a good vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason that it gets number one, other than just like looking the best to me, is the vibe that it's bringing of Mercedes is back. Like that's what they're trying to do with this. We'll see if it happens, but it is the best thing. My only dislike about it is actually the Lewis Hamilton yellow 44s.
Yeah.
But it's his thing, and I respect him so much. I'm just going to let it go. And it doesn't look as bad. It looked way worse on the silver. The yellow matching on the silver, I don't know. Something about it to me just didn't work. So that's my top 10. I'm very excited. We see these on track very soon. And
very excited.
Oh, one more thing. I don't know if you've heard this. If you didn't watch the Mercedes reveal, I don't know if you did. Then you probably don't know this. But do you know why they were originally called the Silver Arrows?
I think you've told me this, but I don't remember.
Okay, so in the mid 1930s, Mercedes had a team. I actually don't remember if it was Formula One or not. I don't think so. And they showed up with a white car, but it was over the minimum weight, and they're always trying to get to the minimum weight. So they scraped it until it got down to the silver aluminum, and then they made the weight, and that's why they became known as the Silver Arrows, because So for this car, it's actually funny because I was going to say, does it count as a livery if it's more carbon fiber than paint, which this is? But it's black Mercedes, so, it wins. But that's one of the things they mentioned, and that was like, we're going back to our roots. We're scraping to make the weight.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our cars. I'm very stunned to hear AlphaTauri. So I didn't know you didn't like it. AlphaTauri is one of my favorites. I'm shocked.
I don't know. Maybe it was the launch that also just pushed it down for me.
Yeah, the launch was cringy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like creepy.
Yeah. It felt more like, obviously it's Fashion Week when they revealed it. But it was just, it felt like, it just wasn't good.
It reminded me of the This Is America music video.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it reminded me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So let's talk about some launches. I don't really know where I want to start. So we mentioned that one. Let's talk about Alfa Romeo's launch, which is just incredible. So
if you're following anything of Formula One, you've probably heard about what happened at Alfa
tell
Romeo's.
us what happened.
They, before the car, it was even showed.
Well, first of all, they revealed it in Switzerland for some reason.
So do you want me to talk about like why that's bad?
Yeah, just give me the whole thing.
Okay, so gambling is illegal in Switzerland, or betting and gambling, same thing. And Alfa Romeo's partnered with Stake, the number one gambling website in the world, or organization, whatever. So, and they launched it in Switzerland, which was hilarious. But then they also leaked their real car on screens behind like their whole like broadcast.
Who is this technical director?
Like multiple times
and multiple angles.
Yes. Like, I don't even know. Like,
so they broke a law.
Yeah.
And then they probably broke some NDA because I'm sure there was like an exact time that they could release the livery. Yeah. Oh, dude, it was so cringy.
It was. Watching that, I was like, because I saw it and I was like, oh, cool, that's the car. And then I saw the reveal car and I was like, that's not the same car.
That's not the same car. How did they do this? Who sent them a JPEG of the real car?
Yeah,
I want to know.
Real. They were like, they emailed off some random person at Alfa Romeo. It was like, hey, can you just send us some pics of the show car?
It's sitting right behind him. He's got his iPhone. He's just like,
he's just like,
let me get one of the wide angles. I got 3 lenses.
Yeah, so they had multiple angles, pictures of the car behind them at their little desk broadcasting the Alfa Romeo launch, and it was hilarious.
Needless to say, I think Audi buying them afterward was buying out more of their shares afterward. It was a little cheaper, probably.
Yeah.
They probably got a bit of a deal.
Good idea to wait a little bit.
Yeah, so just an incredible story. I mean, and I don't know. Like, I don't know how they did it. I mean, I as a video person, I know how you could accidentally queue up the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's fairly semi easy to do. But I don't know how you're sleeping on the job that hard. What else? What other PNGs should have been
also like if you're the one like that's hitting play, Surely you've watched it to make sure it works beforehand.
Yeah, you have a preview.
How could you? Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly what goes on with it, but like maybe he thought that was the show car. Maybe he never, or whoever got to see the show car. Maybe it was just some media worker that was hired to hit play.
Maybe.
But we don't know that.
But they weren't operating on any delay?
Yeah, it was.
I don't know, dude. It's
and the
baffling.
fact that like no one stopped them. That's the thing.
Yes, exactly. They didn't cut away. They didn't, so let's go to the crowd for some questions. Anything?
Yeah,
Nothing.
yeah.
They gave us multiple angles. It's an incredible thing. It's almost like, did they do it on purpose? It's almost like
that's what I thought at first. But
that would have been pretty funny.
But then I started thinking about like what you were talking about at the beginning, where you were like surely there's an NDA or something like where.
I don't know.
And also like it's Formula One. No one tells anything in Formula One.
Yes.
Because any hint you give to what your car is actually going to look like is like a step up for the competitors.
And also another thing, they literally sandbag in preseason testing. Like, I know I'm excited and I expect a lot of teams to go full out at the beginning, but they literally will not drive as fast as they can in a test to see how fast they can go.
Yeah.
Just so they don't know until the first qualifying how fast they can actually go. And if that's not crazy, and you're telling me these people let a freaking text message with a JPEG of the real car? I don't know, dude. It's something. But anyway, we're not bashing them too hard. You know what? It's poor old Alfa Romeo. We don't even hit cost cap. They're not operating on a full budget. They hired some two production idiots like us that don't have enough experience.
Yeah.
Anyway, now the latest news to break actually broke yesterday, and I just want to say that I've already have a prediction that came true this season of my 3, which is I said Aston Martin was going to be one of the teams that we talk about the most.
Oh, okay.
And lo and behold, Lance Stroll took himself a little bike ride.
Good Lord, man.
Lance, I'm sorry. I know I bashed you a good bit out here, but I don't know what happened, but basically they came out, they said Lance will not be participating in this preseason test and maybe not the race. We don't know yet. Because he had a minor biking injury. Now, I don't know what injury is bad enough that he can't drive, but he might be able to drive. So maybe he has a concussion. I don't know.
We don't really know exactly what or fully happened. So,
but like, dude, how did this happen? Like, maybe he got hurt in the early summer and they've been hiding it, and like, but he was walking in the promo like 2 days ago, or like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
Hopefully we hear something like a little bit more concrete soon.
But anyway, so they named his replacement, which is Felipe Drugovich. I think that's how you say his name. Mm-hmm. He's been in the ether of all of this for a while. So hope he does good. I don't know if this will help hurt them or not matter at all. Hopefully he gets the race. But like, what is it with Aston Martin and not being able to have their drivers start? Last season, Seb had COVID for the first race and Nico Hulkenberg got to drive. It's like a curse for them or something. So moving on, there's several teams that won a 2026 deal for Honda engines because it's it's official that Red Bull is going to be using Ford engines.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
I do know. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
You don't want the livery will change. They'll put a Ford logo.
Hey, you're right.
Dude, those leaks that I sent you that were fake, that would have been a cool livery that they were going to put the Ford logo on.
Oh,
like the day before.
yeah.
I would have been so down for that. Anyway, so you don't think it's a good idea?
I don't know. I mean, I liked Red Bull Honda.
Why change anything right now?
Yeah. Or just, I don't know.
They're always doing something. But like, I just don't.
I think they're always just trying to stay a step ahead. Maybe they obviously know more than we do about this.
This is 100% true.
Thank you for that info, Nick. But I don't know. I just don't like.
You got me on that.
Especially with the interest from all these other teams in Honda. I'm like, stick with what's working.
Yeah, and
fix what's working, even to make it even better. Don't.
Now, the only thing I can think of is that Honda is still its own company and Ford is willing to make it Red Bull Ford. So maybe Red Bull gets a bigger cut of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, because they're gonna build it in their own. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
But I just can't. I don't know a whole lot. Like I'm not an engineer, but I'm a very avid electric car fan. And one of the main things that the 2026 engine is going to do is be more electric.
Yep.
And
Ford isn't
is
known
not
for
leading
electric cars. Yeah.
Now, if all of a sudden Tesla had a deal for an F1 engine,
oh yeah.
I would be very interested. And Ford
I
has
would
the
not
F150.
be shocked to hear that either.
Hot shocked was that?
I would not be shocked to hear
that.
that.
Electric pun shocked. Anyway,
good one.
I know. Thank you.
Wasn't even
What a mood
intentional,
today.
and this guy's he's just rattling them off.
I'm just saying, like that wouldn't surprise me. And Ford has an electric Mustang and so like they have experience, but
those are also new. Ford's new into it, like a lot newer than most.
There's just like a reason that like it hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And also, while we're on the subject of engines, something that surprised me greatly was that Alpine has already reached like I don't know if it's like a verbal deal or whatever, with Andretti to be their engine supplier with Renault engines. But I thought Cadillac was going to make their own engines. So I guess they're not going to be ready in time.
I guess not. Probably not.
So, that's kind of a shame. I was kind of hoping, because what I was going to say was, well, Andretti probably wants to use a Ford engine.
Yeah.
But also, will Cadillac let that happen?
Oh.
I don't know, dude. So this is all very like up in the air. I mean, well, the Red Bull thing isn't, but
yeah. But all the rest is brand new. Like,
but if Ford has 4 years to figure out an engine, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They're one of the oldest car companies in the world, and you know what? The best-selling vehicle in the world is the F-150.
Hey, and you know what? They're built tough.
They're built for tough. They might go slow, but they ain't gonna break. Which brings us to Ferrari. So I was gonna set out this season to say, you know what? If Mercedes doesn't win, Ferrari can. That's what I was thinking. I was gonna try and be this way, but I cannot, because they already have an engine problem. They're having problems with their turbocharger.
Yep.
They had to fix the one that they used at their reveal, which there's been rumors about the Mercedes that I think is fake, because I haven't seen any concrete evidence of. But there's like an F1 article about the turbocharger. So there's rumors that there's problems with the Mercedes engine. Do you think it's real?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked into it.
Well, there's rumors that there were syncing issues, which is just a computer to engine thing.
Yeah.
But people were saying that means the engine's messed up. It's like, no, it's called they got to code something still. Yeah. And again, there's a lot less evidence than this turbo thing being like confirmed, basically. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Ferrari. I'm going to compliment them, though. They had the best car reveal, in my opinion. They got up there, they said, here's the car, and then they immediately raised the thing and drove it out and drove it on track in front of fans.
That was awesome.
That's sick.
Oh, yeah.
That absolute dub. Like, seriously.
I agree.
And it looked good. Like, it looked like a solid car. And there was media there. Like, they're not being scared. They're just like, here's our card.
Yep.
Beat us.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. This is how I think every car reveal should be.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't like, just get rid of the show cars.
Yes. So
basically,
our friend Kendra, of all the things, she actually sent me a piece of news or a F1 thing that I had not heard of.
Oh, wow.
And I think this is a genius idea. So the FIA parody account had tweeted an idea that I think is the best freaking idea, which is, if you reveal your real car, you can have an extra filming day and get an extra 100 to 200 kilometers to film to if you do it that day.
Yeah.
But if not, it's gone.
Ooh.
So that will essentially get rid of show cars.
That would be good.
Because like I can't decide what I hate more. Like the Alfa Romeo method, which is they just like threw random crap on a render. Like who decided the teeth thing?
Yeah.
Like what was weird. That? Did they just use the eraser tool in Photoshop? They're like this will get them. Like or taking the real RB18, changing two things, and flying it to New York City and revealing it as the RB19. And getting Daniel Ricciardo to be like, look, there it is. Don't look too close. Like, it is the same. But yeah, Ferrari did the exact opposite, and Mercedes showed their real car. Who else showed their real car? Alpine did. Alpine
Yeah.
had 2 real cars,
Yep.
and both were painted differently.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I don't think AlphaTauri's I think was fake.
AlphaTauri's was.
I think it's funny too because there's like other fans that be like, "Wow, they all look really similar." It's like, no. Haas we just saw today, but that was a render.
Mm-hmm.
McLaren wasn't there. Aston Martin, but their car's the same. So
Yeah. There's
we'll
no
see.
choosing
That might be
really.
different, but I think they should do that. So yeah, that's an idea that I saw.
I like that idea. I think that'd be good.
I really hope they do it.
I have one thing to ask you because
Okay, go ahead.
so for the people who don't know, me and Nick are big film/video guys.
Yep.
Did you see Chapter 60 from McLaren?
I did not.
You need to watch it.
Is it
Because
awesome?
did you like Ford's reveal for Red Bull, the video?
That video was insane.
Then you need to watch this.
So is it on Twitter? Where? How do I find
Just
it?
go to just look up McLaren car launch. Go to their website and like scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
It's just called Chapter 60 #Forever Forward.
Is this their 60th year or something?
I think so.
Dude, that is
That video is amazing, and they I think they released it with their launch, or they might have done it before. I can't remember. I think it was the day of their launch actually, but it's basically like kind of like it's just a hype video, but they did it so well.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's really good. What did you think of McLaren's car launch though?
I only watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
What did you think? Meh.
Yeah, I mean it's just it was like here's our crap.
I from what I understand, they do a cooler launch in private for their investors.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm sure
They
all the
show
companies
it
do.
in Drive to Survive when Carlos Sainz and Lando become teammates for the first time. They show it a little bit of it. Because it's
Oh,
Lando's
I
first
remember
time.
that. I remember
Yeah,
that.
that's what it is. So
Yeah.
it does look cool, and the real car is in there because the camera pans away really fast.
Gotcha. One thing I did, they didn't just have like some announcers or like people within McLaren to come and do their launch. They had Vicstar123, which is an old YouTuber.
Yeah,
I think he's
yeah.
banned from YouTube now though. And Ariana Bravo, and that kind of made it more like lively. Like they both did a really good job during the launch, like keeping the energy up. So I like that part of it. But then everybody saw the car and was like, turning this off.
Yeah, they said so. One thing that McLaren did say, since you brought them up, is that they said they're only going to take a small step forward for all the people in our viral TikTok just kidding, complaining that we have no proof. Did you watch anything? Like, are you paying attention? Because this is literally what they're saying, which is that they're going to be bad, and they said they are targeting a top 4 finish, and that means that best case scenario they'll barely squeeze into P4, which is from a team that was finishing third like pretty consistently. That's not great.
That's some pretty good news from a Muppet.
Yeah. You know who you are. If that person doesn't listen to this full podcast.
Nah.
Some people do though. Shout out to y'all.
We love y'all.
We are big fans of y'all being fans of
Y'all.
us. Y'all. You gotta be like, there's some English person listening to us being like, what am I doing? Wasting my life listening to this.
Yeah, I mean, did you not hear me earlier? I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, if it ain't broke, for those that don't know what that means, it means if it isn't
Broken.
not working, don't refix it. All right. Anyway, so McLaren's gonna be kind of rough. So there's some more stuff about Ferrari. First of all, they have this thing called an S duct. Have you seen this?
Yes, I actually was researching this a little bit earlier.
This is very interesting. All right. Well, what did your research say?
Well, I mean, I looked up what it did.
Okay. What does it do?
Put more rear load on the car.
Yeah, and the way it does it is pretty cool because it's like a hole essentially in the side pod.
So like it's called an S duct because the ventilation makes the air basically make an S into the car, which then puts that force onto the rear load of the car. They have a little hole on the side pods of the car, which bring the air in. The air goes up and back to the back of the car, and that's where it goes out. So that's pushing the back of the car down more.
And I've heard that this is actually an innovation pioneered by Sebastian Vettel, nonetheless.
I don't doubt it.
Because like I said, this isn't. I read this somewhere, but I don't have a ton of articles on it. So if you know something about it, please DM us because I'm very interested. Because Seb is essentially trying to come up with ways to make the car more efficient, and using the real wind to add downforce is a way to do it.
I had heard that he was like, even like throughout the season, was like close to the engineers, like with like kind of like what's his name, Lauda.
Oh, Nicky. Nicky Lauda.
Yeah, how he was always with the engineers. He's like, this is what we need to do. I heard like Seb was pretty much the same way.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. So I think this is actually an innovation that he had kind of the idea for, or at least his overall idea of, hey, let's use physics to make this happen with natural forces rather than burning extra fuel, kind of stuff. So I think it's super interesting, but it could be illegal.
That's also I was gonna that's one thing I had written down was, do you think other teams are gonna challenge the legality of it?
Absolutely.
Because
I think they already probably have.
Yeah. If you know anything about the politics of Formula One, they are challenging everything on every car.
If a driver sneezes funny, they're gonna report it to them.
Exactly. Dude, the stewards of a race, I pray for them, man.
Except for Michael Massey. No,
we love you, Michael. Tip my hat to you real quick.
He wasn't a steward, to be fair.
Yeah.
So the FIA themselves are investigating it already.
Yeah.
So not great, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure
love the ingenuity, but
I'm sure it's not that big to take out.
Yeah.
But it's not like changing the DAS system or something. So, but on the positive side again for Ferrari. So last time, if you listen to 2 episodes ago, Fred Vasseur was saying, hey, we're not going to make that many changes. Well, since then he says, just kidding, I've made a ton of changes.
Yeah.
We need to make even more, and we're making huge strategy changes.
Do you think that was because he was waiting on the launch?
Probably.
I think that was like more of like,
I think it's because he saw our TikTok.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm being very funny because I know we have such a small following, but it's just like, it's the thought that counts. But yeah, no, I think he was waiting for the launch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he seems like he's a quiet, you don't see him on the camera a bunch, but
he fits for Formula One.
Yeah.
Quiet guy.
Yeah. So, he is, we'll see, but I hope he's right. But he's saying Ferrari needs a ton of improvements in every single area. That's what we want to hear. That a boy. So, I don't think the car is going to be that much different. It doesn't look that much different.
No.
But that's okay, because if they just improve the reliability, it's a good car.
That is literally it.
Yeah, it's literally like its quality pace is as good, if not better, than Red Bull from last year.
If they improve their engine reliability, like surely throughout the year they had slow races. Like even if they finished second or third, that was just because
they turned the engine down.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they didn't have to, I mean, I'm sure they could have at least. I mean, I know Max's Red Bull car was just like prestige, insane. But they could have at least competed like a lot more.
Well, then they had that huge lead after Max DNF twice in a row at the beginning. So anyway, we'll see. I hope so. Let's see some other interesting stuff. Oh, Alpine somehow is way under the minimum weight.
Oh yeah,
way under. So they actually have to add fake weight into it, and which means that they have room to add other developments.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they did it. I mean, we all know Mr. Good old trustworthy Otmar and his stealing stealing his ideas. We'll see how that goes. Are we going to get a blue and pink Red Bull? I don't know. But anyway, but I don't know how he did it, but hats off to those engineers. Mick Schumacher conveniently as Audi buys shares, conveniently at the same time has a news story break that says, hey, I've been contacted by some teams for a seat next season.
Several teams.
Interesting. How does that happen?
I called it.
You did?
I called it. I said that there is no shot Mick Schumacher is not going to be driving in 2024. And I also said that I think he can drive in 2023 if he gets called up from a reserve.
I mean, I kind of thought there was like a sniff of a chance. I thought he might drive for Aston in the race.
Oh, yeah?
In a couple weeks. Because they all kind of like, when they're all in the same engine family, they all kind of
they work together a little bit.
Yeah, they work together. Like McLaren is available for some people. Yeah. And so with that said, I do think there's a chance I mean, he could have a seat.
If someone underperforms this season, Mick's got a seat.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Mid-season
so.
or something. Yeah.
I don't
so-
think they're going to pull a reserve up. Or like those teams are going to pull their individual reserves up. I think they're going to shoot for Mick if they can.
that and shadowing Lewis Hamilton, who knew his dad really well too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for him.
I agree.
I mean, honestly, it might end up. We might look back 10 years from now and be like, "Wow, 3-time world champion Mick Schumacher getting out of Haas was a great thing for him."
Yeah.
You never know. So anyway, I just think it's convenient timing, and I think he might get Joe Guanyu's seat next year. Maybe.
I don't doubt. I agree with you. Like I don't.
But they got
I don't
big
see that
sponsors
out of the
from
realm
him.
of possibility.
I mean, they got big sponsors for
That's
Joe
fair.
Guanyu, but also,
It's the Schumacher.
yeah. So we'll see. Let's
That
see.
brings you fans.
But yeah, no, and he's a good guy. Everybody
Yeah.
likes him.
Oh yeah.
So, Aston has huge upgrades planned after the test. So they already have a plan for after the test, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure this hurts them a little bit.
Mhm.
I wrote this in here afterward. Ferrari is saying they're going to be a second a lap faster. A second a lap faster. You heard that right. We'll see. I mean, I guess if the reliability is that much, it's technically
That probably
possible.
brings their average up.
See, the thing that would really suck is what was bothering them before was their MGUK, I believe. I think
Yeah.
was what was causing them issues. And now if their turbo's messed up, if they did all this fixing and they have electrical issues now, that's gonna suck.
Oh yeah, that'll be really bad. If they lose power.
No. So,
Imagine.
dude, can you imagine? Like, it's going so fast. They're ahead by 10 seconds and it just dies. It does a Max
Just runs
Verstappen
out
in the
of-
first race
Yeah.
last year.
Mhm.
That was insane. My new favorite person, Stefano Domenicali. First of all, he wants quicker cost cap verdicts, which I was complaining about all year last year.
Oh yeah, you if you've listened, you've heard him.
I complaining about all year last year. And
Good old Red Bull.
he wants he basically shut down the FIA president because to make him relinquish control. I don't know how to say his name. It's Mohammed bin. I don't know how to say his last name. I apologize.
I'm not even going to attempt.
Sulaim. I apologize, but I've watched him talk a ton. I just don't know how to say his name. So basically, he's relinquished control over anything, and Stefano is saying we want drivers to still be able to speak out. And Lewis Hamilton is saying, I don't give a crap, which is exactly what we said. I'm going to keep speaking out.
Oh, yeah.
So I think all the drivers seem pretty peeved about it. The ones that have a voice. I mean, like the Logan Sargents of the world are just happy to be here.
Well, I still think. So, do you think he's gonna like retract what they have said then about? Because I still think he's gonna want them to say something to the FIA first.
Maybe
I think he's trying to hold like. When I saw like of what you're talking about, where he said he like wants drivers to speak out, in my mind it was still like, or the way he said it, it felt like he was like, I still want them to come talk to us, but like we're gonna be a little bit more open. But I think he just wants to hold like that like respect of Formula One, trying to be like the.
I think this is going to be more of a like backrooms thing at this point, which is like, if Lewis Hamilton's going to go up there with this shirt that says like arrest this cop that I forget what the shirt it was.
Yeah.
That shot this person. Who was it? What protest was that? I can't remember. It was one of the 2020 things. It was like a very serious thing. If Lewis Hamilton's going to do something like that, he just wants a heads up, like, hey, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
I'm about to.
I don't think they
Breonna
would
Taylor, that's
shut
what it
him
was.
down.
Breonna Taylor.
I don't think they would shut him down. I think they just want a heads up.
They want a heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a hey, send me a text. You know, like legit. I'm serious. Like, but it needs to sound all official and stuff. Anyway, good sign, good job. Lots of people disagreed
like
with it. Lots of people disagreed with it online, but I mean, here's what I would say. So the people that are disagreeing with it online, you have the right to comment and complain about things that we're saying, and they want the same right to say what they want to say. And they're normal people too.
Exactly.
So that's kind of like what I feel about it. And now finally a little cool note that was announced this morning, which I think is super cool. The Haas car that caught on fire is going to be on display at like F1 experiences or something.
Oh wow.
And it looks super cool. Have you seen the pictures? Okay, it broke this morning. So yeah,
I'll look
Romain
it up.
Grosjean's car it looks insane, dude. Like, I'm so happy they're doing this. Like, I think it's literally one of the coolest things I've ever seen F1 do.
burnt Formula One car will go on display.
Yeah, I forget where it is. I forget what it's called too. I think it's like F1 experiences, something like that. Just look it up. Look up Roman Grosjean car, and you'll find it.
Okay.
But what and it's all F1 at F1 exhibition.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so go to that in Madrid. That's where it is. Okay, so yeah, so they're going to be showing Roman Grosjean's burnt F1 car in person, and I think it's like a, I don't know. I think I don't need to say a whole lot about it. I think you just get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the pictures, dude. I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. That's crazy.
it's insane. So it's cool that they still
A man
have it.
walked out of that.
Yeah,
That's
that's the best.
wild.
Interesting take. One of the best, if not the best, sports doc episode I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
The Man
on
Who Walked-
fire.
The Man on
Oh
Fire,
yeah.
And finally, just to totally throw you out of this, I'm gonna have to
Throw me out of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to rise to a defense of somebody here.
Oh Lord.
I got a comment, and I initially disagreed with it entirely, but then the more I thought about it, there's a lot of facts.
You're gonna make me go against. Okay.
So someone said that that Checo is the worst driver out of the top 3 teams. Now, worst is a strong word.
Teams?
Top 3 teams: Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. All right, I'll just help you out. You can't say that he's better than Lewis or Max. Can't do it. So,
I wouldn't.
so then it comes down to, is he better than Leclerc and Sainz? And you said that you thought Leclerc was one of the best. So it comes down to, is Sainz or Checo better? Now, Checo has more race wins, but he also has been in a better car. It's very tough. There's a legitimate argument.
There's an argument for both sides,
Exactly.
which makes this tough. But I think because of experience, Checo's better.
Okay.
Or it will give better results.
But do you think, looking back at the end of their careers, because let's be honest, Checo's on the tail end of his career.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, Checo could be world champion.
Right now, I think Checo is still better than Sainz.
Okay.
2 years?
You don't know.
Don't know.
Because Sainz is going to be at Ferrari for a long time,
Yeah.
I'm feeling. Yeah.
And I feel like Sainz is going to get really comfortable in that Ferrari.
So, yeah, my gut reaction was no. Oh, wait, and George Russell. Sorry, we forgot to throw George Russell into
I
it.
was just avoiding it.
You don't want to talk about it?
No, I mean, I think
still- you don't wanna
I
say
think
George
Checo's
Russell?
better. I think Checo's better.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's George is better in his own ways.
Okay. So,
But overall, well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm actually gonna be unbiased about this. I think I need to see George in a good car
okay.
to know, because I haven't really.
So,
He was in that Mercedes for one race, and he did really good, but that was one race.
So we'll revisit this at the end of the season.
We will. I want to talk about this again, because I've said that I have turned my tides and that I like George Russell. I think he's a good driver. I have said that.
Yep, you have.
It
It was stunning.
I know, it just blew your mind. But as of right now, Checo is better than at least Sainz and Russell.
Okay.
Because with Sainz, I've seen him in a good car, and I still think as of right now, Checo could do better than him. But with George Russell, he's a good driver. I know that.
Yep.
But I haven't seen him in a good enough car. If they put him in the same, if Checo and George Russell in the same car, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I have no idea who would win that race.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't.
Because George Russell has
he has inherent talent, but Checo has experience and
that's
talent.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So it's hard to say.
Russell has got the emotional drive.
Yes.
Checo is the technical, mechanical drive.
And pun intended.
Obviously, they all drive with emotion,
Yeah.
but still, George is young.
Checo.
George is proving himself still.
Yeah. Checo has track record. I mean, literally track record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting.
No, that's a great topic to talk about. I think we definitely should talk about that at the end of the season, or maybe mid-season if.
My gut initially was like, no. And then I was like, well, I was like, now you think about it. Now I'm going to throw one more driver.
No, he's not the sixth driver.
This is probably your same answer, but you're going to be like, ooh, Lando Norris
Or who?
or Checo.
Checo.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because-
same answer.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
okay.
many
Here's
people
the
that
thing.
think
Here's the
Lando
thing.
Norris is the best driver on the grid. Period. End of story.
Lando is the most consistent driver on the grid, and you cannot tell me differently.
I don't know. Checo might be the most consistent.
Mm.
That's a tough. Or was Lewis the most consistent?
Okay.
Lewis,
You're
Lewis
making this
has
tough on me.
103 wins, 191 podiums, and 300 and I can't remember how many races.
I'm not saying
30 something races.
Lando is the.
Lewis has experience. It's the same argument.
Yeah. It really. I mean, Lando's been in it for a few years now, so he's got some experience. But here's out of a midfield driver, you don't see anyone more consistent.
Okay.
Out of a midfield. Now, if we saw him in a top 3 team, that changes everything. You got to think about
the top
that.
3 team.
Well, McLaren?
Yes.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But they fell. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's complicated, and he's
a tough one.
But he's him and Science are like one of the best combos ever.
I agree.
I'm just making it hard on you. I don't know.
You are. But
Checo's
it's
awesome.
also a good topic. I want to think and talk about this more.
Ponder on it.
Yeah, I will.
And tell me your thoughts in the comments.
We'll come back over the next few podcasts and talk about this because it's interesting. It's making my brain tingle.
Do you have anything else you want to say? Because if not, I have a little story for the end.
I know your story, so not really. I think I'm good.
Okay. So for those
Oh
of
wait,
you
wait, one more thing. Da, 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 da. Max Verstappen.
Dude, this can't hate on a good song.
Okay.
I much
Now I'm
prefer
good.
Super Hoss.
Super Haas.
Dude, okay, 2 stories. This one's really short. I was in a Chipotle the other day. I don't eat it, but I was there. And
Weird.
and I was trying to is there a TikTok audio that I can grab of Super Haas already on TikTok? Because I could not find it. Because I wanted to film getting a Chipotle bowl and playing Haas. I thought it'd be so funny, and I couldn't. All right. Anyway, now my real story, which is, so I, like everybody else in the world right now, I've been using ChatGPT like a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just got into it like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things I plugged into it was, write a script for me describing the events of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it gives disclaimers that it has incorrect facts.
Mm-hmm.
It says that, but this is 100% the truth. And I'm going to read it to you. So here we go. Narrator. This is exactly how it should have gone. Narrator, the 2021 Formula One season came to a close with the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, a race that promised to be a nail-biter from start to finish. The drivers took to the track at Yas Marina Circuit, with Max Verstappen of Red Bull and Lewis Hamilton of Mercedes in a tight battle for the championship. At lights out, Verstappen got off to a good start, quickly pulling ahead of Hamilton, which is not true. The 2 drivers battled for position in the early laps, with Verstappen holding a slight advantage. Not true. But things started to get interesting when the safety car was deployed after a collision between the Haas drivers. Verstappen and Hamilton both pitted for fresh tires. This devolved into, I don't know. Both pitted for fresh tires, with Verstappen getting back on track just ahead of Hamilton. The 2 drivers continued to battle for position, with Verstappen doing everything he could to hold off Hamilton's charge. But with a few laps remaining, the Mercedes teammate made a strategic move, bringing him in for another pit stop. The move gave Hamilton fresher tires and a chance to catch Verstappen, who was still out on track. In the final laps, Hamilton was closing in, but the Red Bull was doing his best to defend his position. As the 2 drivers entered the final lap, Hamilton was just a few seconds behind Verstappen, which, I mean, how could you recover a few seconds in one lap? Anyway.
Yeah.
But then disaster struck for Verstappen. A back marker held him up in the final sector, allowing Hamilton to close the gap even further. With just a few corners remaining, Hamilton made his move, passing Verstappen and taking the lead. In a stunning finish, Hamilton crossed the finish line, winning the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in the 2021 F1 Championship. Verstappen came in second with just a few seconds behind Hamilton. This is what should have happened.
I saw him post this, and it
bombed.
It pained me
I deleted
not
it.
to comment. This is a Mercedes fever dream,
Dude.
This is a Mercedes fan's fever dream.
Can we talk about how cool this is, though? That,
The chat?
Yeah, how
GPT?
much that it knew. It used the word back marker, which
Yeah,
is just
and
like
it said that Haas crashed.
yes, it knew exactly. It was telling a true story. I was like, I'm with you. If you didn't tell anybody, they would read this thing. This is real. This is what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I knew it was wrong. I almost wasn't even going to read the whole thing. But when it said Verstappen got off to a good start, I was like, he didn't. Like I was like, oh, this is funny. Because I don't, sometimes I don't read the whole response.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is funny. And then I scrolled and I saw Lewis Hamilton wins the 2021 championship, and I was like,
what could have been?
So my last and final topic of this episode is: do I think Mercedes is going to be good this year? I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. They are giving me the vibe of we're back, and they're being very calm about saying it.
Yeah.
They're being very last year was a challenging year.
when is Mercedes out there?
What do you mean?
Like, we're the best, that we're back.
Yeah, they're not really like
Yeah, they're not.
So I don't know, but
which is like one of the reasons I really liked them.
Yeah, the black car feels like power.
Yeah,
and I hope. I 100% agree with you that if it's slow, I'm gonna be sad.
Yeah,
but so they've gone. They've taken the no.
That's the thing, though. If in my mind, if I'm Mercedes, that car isn't going to be black unless it's fast.
They're like, well, we might as well.
Seriously, even as just like an engineer, or not an engineer, but like black Mercedes equals fast.
Yeah, silver Mercedes equals slow.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess ish. I mean, Lewis Hamilton won more championships
black Mercedes equals like winning car. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not going to do that, especially with how the fans hold the W11 and what is it?
W12.
Yeah. You can't do that.
Dude, the teasing they did.
Yeah.
They made it seem like that was a silver car.
Here is how. No, they did not.
Yes, they did.
Because they posted a
black and white photo.
Pie chart on their Instagram that had black in it.
I know.
And I saw that, and I didn't. I wish I did, but I was going to text Nick right then and there and say, it's a black car. I'm calling it now. I'm not changing my mind.
It's gorgeous.
It's amazing.
I'm so glad you like it.
Yeah. I mean,
he texted me saying this makes me want to be a Mercedes fan. So
wait, we didn't have to tell people that, man.
Well, hey. If you get to be right, I get to
listen.
be right.
Nick compliments Red Bull every once in a while.
I like their livery. It's fine. It just doesn't change. But neither does Aston Martin. Aston Martin's my number 2. So people are gonna be like,
talking about a bias.
Yeah. Hey, British racing green is gorgeous.
It is.
Well, that's been it. I want Mercedes to be good. We're gonna find out real soon. I'm gonna be shaking when I look at the lap times on Thursday. So even though they might be sandbagging, but anyway.
Yeah.
So with all that said, we will see you next time. Follow us on @thePitwallPod. DM us anything. Even though I like to clown on the people that clown on us, I do enjoy your comments. So please continue to comment. Send us anything. Correct us. I like to I want to be right about stuff. So,
yeah, for sure.
And we'll see you next week to talk about Drive to Survive and the preseason testing. Pray for our eyeballs. We're going to be watching a lot of
the
car content.
We are binging this thing.
Woo! All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.